chosen one, this message is not finding you by accident. Something within you already sensed it before now. A quiet knowing, a steady pull toward truth, a deep awareness that you were not designed to live on the surface of life. From an early stage, you noticed things others overlooked. You felt stirred when words were spoken that carried weight, and unsettled when silence surrounded injustice or confusion. That inner stirring was never random. It was the early sign of a spiritual capacity placed within you by God Himself. A gift meant to mature with time, faith, and obedience. Many people believe spiritual gifts belong only to a select few, reserved for prophets of old or figures spoken about in sacred history. Yet history itself tells a different story. The men and women God used most powerfully were often ordinary, unnoticed, and uncertain at the beginning. They did not start with confidence. They started with sensitivity. They listened closely. They responded when truth pressed against their spirit. That same pattern shows up in your life today. The prophetic gift is not about predicting events or displaying spiritual performance. It is about alignment with God's heart and the courage to speak, live, and act from that alignment. You may have spent years dismissing this gift because it did not look dramatic. It did not announce itself loudly. Instead, it surfaced through discernment, through insight that arrived before situations unfolded, through a burden to pray when others felt calm, through a strong reaction to dishonesty even when it cost you comfort. That gift developed quietly because God values depth before exposure. What grows unseen becomes stable when tested. This is why your journey may have felt slow or misunderstood. It was never delay. It was preparation. Throughout history, those who carried prophetic insight were rarely celebrated at the beginning. They were questioned, doubted, and sometimes dismissed. Yet their words carried weight because they flowed from intimacy, not ambition. The same God who entrusted truth to shepherds, fishermen, and servants still works that way today. He places spiritual understanding in those willing to remain humble and teachable. If you have ever felt discomfort when truth was ignored, or peace when you chose integrity over approval, that was evidence of the gift at work. Take a moment to reflect on your own experiences. Have you ever spoken something that later came to pass without you planning it? Have you sensed caution before stepping into situations that later proved harmful? Have people told you that your words carried clarity during confusion or calm during chaos? These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. The prophetic gift often shows itself long before the person carrying it fully understands what it is. Recognition comes in stages, and today marks a moment of clarity for you. This gift does not separate you from others. It calls you to serve them. True prophetic insight builds, restores, and redirects. It speaks life even when truth feels uncomfortable. It is rooted in love, not fear. That is why God works so carefully with those He entrusts it to. Character always comes before influence. If your journey has included seasons of isolation, rejection, or restraint, understand this clearly. Those seasons were shaping your discernment. They were refining how you listen and when you speak. History shows that men who changed nations often carried conviction long before they carried authority. Leaders, reformers, and visionaries were guided by inner clarity that refused to be silenced. They stood firm when popular opinion shifted, and they remained steady when pressure increased. Their strength did not come from loudness, but from alignment. In the same way, your prophetic gift is meant to guide your decisions, protect your path, and strengthen others through wisdom rather than force. You are not called to copy anyone else's expression of this gift. God does not duplicate vessels. He develops them uniquely. Your voice, your timing, your sensitivity are tailored to your assignment. Comparing yourself to others will only mute what God designed to be distinct in you. Growth happens when you honor the process and remain faithful in small acts of obedience. Each time you choose truth over convenience, the gift sharpens. Each time you listen before reacting, it deepens. As you listen to this message, allow yourself to acknowledge what you already know inside. This is not about becoming something new, it is about recognizing what has been present all along. If this resonates with you, engage with it. Let others know you are walking this path. Share your thoughts in the comments, connect with this community, and stay open to what God continues to reveal. Faith grows when it is expressed. This is only the beginning of the understanding. What you carry is valuable, and learning how it operates will bring clarity to many past experiences that once confused you. In the next part, we will explore why resistance often rises as this gift matures, how spiritual opposition connects to prophetic clarity, and what history reveals about those who carried truth before you. If you're ready to continue, let me know. As this gift begins to rise into awareness, resistance often increases. This is one of the most misunderstood aspects of spiritual growth. Many believe opposition means they are on the wrong path, yet history consistently shows the opposite. Whenever God entrusts clarity, insight, or truth to a person, pressure follows. Not because the person is weak, but because what they carry has influence. You may have noticed that confusion tried to enter your mind right as your confidence in God strengthened. Distractions intensified when your focus became sharper. Relationships shifted when your values became firmer. None of this was accidental. Those who carried spiritual insight throughout history faced similar tension. Their lives show a repeating pattern. Clarity arrives, resistance responds, perseverance refines, and purpose expands. This pattern is not meant to break you, it is meant to train discernment. Spiritual warfare is rarely loud or dramatic. It often shows up as discouragement, doubt, isolation, or pressure to compromise. The aim is not always to stop you completely, but to quiet your voice or delay your obedience. This is why your ability to stay grounded matters more than your ability to react. The prophetic gift sharpens awareness. It allows you to sense when something is misaligned, even if everything appears acceptable on the surface. That sensitivity can feel heavy when you do not yet understand how to manage it. At times, you may have wished you could be less aware, less affected, less burdened by what others ignore. Yet this very awareness is what positions you to bring clarity where confusion dominates. History honors those who refused to silence their conscience even when it would have been easier. Consider how many influential figures were misunderstood before they were respected. Reformers, leaders, and voices of truth were often labeled difficult simply because they refused to echo popular thinking. They carried conviction that could not be negotiated. Their strength came from inner alignment rather than external validation. In the same way, your prophetic sensitivity may have made you feel out of place in environments that rewarded compromise. That discomfort was not rejection, it was protection. Spiritual opposition also tries to distort identity. It whispers that you are too intense, too sensitive, or too different. Yet the very traits you questioned are the tools God uses. Sensitivity allows discernment. Intensity fuels conviction. Difference creates impact. The challenge is learning how to steward these qualities without allowing them to overwhelm you. Growth requires discipline, not suppression. God does not ask you to silence what He planted. He teaches you how to carry it with wisdom. This is where spiritual maturity develops. The prophetic gift must be anchored in humility to remain effective. History shows that those who rushed to speak without grounding often lost credibility, while those who waited gained authority. Timing matters. Discernment grows when prayer becomes a lifestyle rather than a reaction. Listening becomes as important as speaking. Obedience in private prepares you for influence in public. You may have noticed that moments of clarity often arrived during quiet seasons rather than crowded ones. Solitude has always been a training ground for those called to carry insight. Separation refines focus. It reduces noise and strengthens spiritual hearing. This does not mean isolation forever. It means preparation before expansion. Every season has purpose, even the ones that felt uncomfortable. Ask yourself honestly, where have you felt resistance increase as your faith deepened? Where have you felt pressure to dilute truth for acceptance? These questions reveal where growth is happening. Instead of withdrawing, lean into discernment. Instead of reacting, respond with prayer and wisdom. This is how authority develops. If this part of the message resonates, engage with it. Share what you have noticed shifting in your life. Interaction strengthens clarity and encourages others walking a similar path. You are not alone in this journey, even when it feels that way. In the next part, we will explore how to actively develop this gift with balance, discipline, and faith, and how to apply it practically to daily life, purpose, and God-given vision without fear or confusion. When you're ready, let me know. At this stage of the journey, the focus shifts from awareness to responsibility. Recognizing that you carry a prophetic spiritual gift is not meant to inflate ego or create distance from others. It is meant to deepen obedience, sharpen discipline, and align daily choices with God's direction. History confirms that those who influenced generations did not do so by speaking constantly, but by living consistently. Their authority flowed from integrity. Their words carried weight because their lives matched their convictions. This gift grows strongest when rooted in character. Without character, insight becomes noise. With character, even a few words can bring clarity and peace. This is why God often allows seasons where you feel unseen while your inner life is being strengthened. The world celebrates speed, yet God values formation. Many notable figures, both in faith history and world history, were shaped quietly before their influence became visible. Their preparation years were not wasted, they were essential. Daily life is where this gift matures. How you respond to pressure, how you treat people who misunderstand you, how you manage disappointment, and how you remain faithful when results delay. These moments refine spiritual authority. Prophetic sensitivity is not proven in public platforms alone. It is revealed in private obedience. When you choose truth over convenience, patience over reaction, and prayer over fear, the gift becomes clearer and steadier. One practical way to steward this gift is by developing spiritual rhythm. Consistent time with God anchors discernment. Reflection sharpens understanding. Writing down impressions, insights, and lessons builds clarity over time. Many influential leaders kept journals not to impress others, but to track growth, refine vision, and remain accountable to truth. This habit strengthens spiritual memory and prevents confusion. Another essential practice is discernment in speech. Not every insight needs to be shared immediately. Wisdom knows when to speak and when to remain silent. History shows that those who waited for the right moment often achieved greater impact than those who rushed. Silence is not weakness when it is guided by purpose. It is strength under control. Community also matters. Even those called to carry insight were never meant to walk alone. Trusted voices provide balance, correction, and encouragement. Isolation weakens perspective, while healthy connection strengthens it. Seek fellowship that values growth, faith, and accountability. This does not require large circles, just honest ones. As your confidence grows, resistance may try to return in subtler forms, such as pride or discouragement. Both are equally limiting. Pride disconnects you from humility, while discouragement disconnects you from hope. The solution to both is gratitude. Gratitude keeps the heart aligned. It reminds you that this gift is entrusted, not owned. Every opportunity to grow is a responsibility to serve. God-given dreams are often connected to this gift. Vision becomes clearer when discernment matures. You may feel drawn toward work that brings healing, guidance, leadership, or restoration. These desires are not random, they reflect purpose forming. Begin where you are. Small acts of obedience create momentum. History repeatedly shows that lasting impact starts with simple faithfulness. Ask yourself, where is God inviting me to act with courage rather than comfort? Where am I being called to trust rather than control? These questions move faith from concept to action. Progress does not require perfection, it requires willingness. If this message has spoken to your heart, engage with it. Share your reflections, encourage others who may be discovering similar truths. Growth multiplies when it is shared. Faith deepens when it is practiced together. As we close, remember this. You were never meant to carry this gift in fear or confusion. It was given to strengthen you, guide others, and honor God through a life of purpose. Walk forward with humility, confidence, and trust. Continue growing, continue listening, continue choosing faith over fear. If this message aligned with your journey, support the mission. Like the message, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and become part of the Chosen Star community by subscribing. Together, we rise in faith, clarity, and purpose. Your voice matters, your growth matters, and your journey is still unfolding.